Hi, I'm Samhita.
My name is Maximilian Chavez.
My name is Carmelita Lee.
Our product for today is for children with autism because they find it extremely hard to identify their emotions and cope with stress.
We created the Beta Band, which is essentially a headband. It reads your beta waves, which fall in between a certain low and high beta wave. And if you're outside that range, then your brain is not acting as a normal brain.
Project Invent has definitely impacted my sense of teamwork. I can collaborate a lot more with my peers, have that design thinking into mind. How can we target our users and have the best influence and the greatest impact on their lives?
Working and coding and doing all that stuff, it gave me a chance to be familiar so that I'm not as intimidated going into college. And it's actually made me a lot more excited for freshman year of college.
We've definitely opened our minds up a lot more, and we've learned how to cope with maybe our product not working and still learning from our mistakes.
Having interacted with people who are on the spectrum, young adults and little children, and seeing what they go through and understanding their experiences, and then being able to put that into a product, engineer something, and then see that truly affect them and help them.
A lot of people try and create products for people that they don't even they never even talked to before. So we had a lot of things that we thought would be good, but after talking to people who actually use wheelchairs, they were we don't have problems with that. So it just you really should talk to people and get to know them before you make assumptions about things that they struggle with.
I think the impact has been huge, and it's changed my outlook towards education, for project-based learning and education, a lot actually. The reason is because prior to Project Invent, I focused a lot on just developing technical skills and having the students learn laser cutting, 3D printing, soldering, sort of for the sake of learning 3D printing, laser cutting, and soldering. But working with Project Invent and anchoring these technical skills to a real-world problem has really, I think, made the learning experiences more meaningful for the students so that they understand what the application is, and has helped with retention and student involvement. It's been really great.
None of these girls came into this project thinking that they were inventors or makers, or that this kind of thing was something they even wanted to do. All of them, I believe, have been radically transformed just by this idea that the world is invented, right, and designed, and that they can participate in designing that world, right? I watched them gain confidence interviewing people, really understanding and delving into design thinking and human-centered design. I watched them struggle through prototyping and then succeed and feel really empowered by that. We have 4 women here who are ready to take on the world and change the world with the invention that they're making, and this is not something that they would have even considered doing in September of this year.
It's been really amazing being able to turn a problem into a solution just through engineering. And so I think Project Invent has taught me that anything that you see out in the world, if you think there's a way that you can fix it, it's totally doable, and that there are resources out there and people out there willing to support you throughout the journey.
This is bigger than just us.
All right, and I'm really sorry, I realized that my mic was muted, but hello everyone and welcome to Project Invent's Demo Day X weekend for 2023. My name is Angela Blackwell and I will be your MC for today. And today you will be hearing pitches from teams of talented, innovative high school students from around the country who have created inventions for social good. These students are incredible. Throughout this year, they have built inventions from the ground up with the goal of helping solve problems in society. These students are building the skills to save the world, and they are doing so with the incredible support and network and infrastructure of Project Invent, which empowers young people to innovate all year round. And today is connecting these impressive young people and the hard work they have done with deeply accomplished investors, executives, and visionaries in the tech industry. And a little bit about myself before we get started. I am a teacher at Harmony School of Innovation in Katy, specifically in Richmond, Texas, right outside of Houston, Texas. This is my second year being a Project Invent Fellow. I will be continuing on next year as well. I also do a lot of the robotics club management at our campus, and I also participate in our regional science and engineering fairs. My role today is to simply facilitate and keep things moving so that you can hear from these amazing students and accomplished panelists. And so before we meet our judges and hear the pitches, just some logistics for today. This is a 2.5-hour event, but don't worry, you can grab a snack and take a break if you need to. When pitches begin, each team of students will present a 5-minute pitch video followed by a 4-minute question and answer session with our panelists. At the end of the event, judges will deliberate and choose 4 teams to award. While students present, here are a few ways to interact with the teams. You can check out the features in Zoom. You can use reactions to cheer teams on and the chat to share words of encouragement. So I would like you guys to test out some of those features right now, just so that we can be ready to share. So you guys can go into the chats, or you can use your reactions. Okay. All right. And then finally, we'll be posting in the chat a link to donate. Project Invent is a nonprofit organization, and the work that we do year-round is to help these students ideate and incubate inventions for social good. And events like Demo Day, connecting those students to industry professionals, and all are made possible by donors like yourself. Project Invent is able to train teachers, run today's event, and support teams because of the generosity of our community. So please consider donating. Okay. And then now, without further ado, we're going to meet our panelists. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. All right. So our first panelist is Shauna Stepp-Jones, who is an associate with Warburg Pincus LLC. Welcome, Shauna. In a quick sentence, what are you most excited about seeing from our students today?
Hi, good morning. I am excited about seeing the innovative ideas that the students have come up and hope to see that they're solving problems from their communities.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming today. And our second panelist is Haran Gupta, who is an associate with Warburg Pincus LLC. Welcome, Haran. In a quick sentence, what are you most excited about seeing from our students today?
Hi, nice to meet everyone. I'm excited to see how the teams came along and worked together on solving problems.
Awesome. Thank you again to our panelists. And today we will be awarding $2,000 of funding for the prizes awarded today. 4 teams will be awarded today. All right. So now that you have met our panelists, it's going to be time for our main event. Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to. This is Haran. Okay. So each team will have 5 minutes to pitch and 4 minutes for questions from our panelists. A quick reminder to our amazing student teams before we begin. You've done the hard work. You've identified your problem to solve. You've designed and redesigned. You've interviewed users. You've spent your dozens of hours coding and building circuit boards and so much more. Now is your time to celebrate that hard work, to show off what you have done, to advocate for your invention, to learn and grow with some of the best professionals in the industry. So take a deep breath, shake off the nerves, and have fun with it. And we're going to do this. Okay. All right. So our first pitch is coming from Droplets from Bostonian Global in El Cajon, California. we have Want Better Plants, Call the Droplets. Okay, and I'm gonna play their video.
The Droplets presented by
Elena Reyes, Melanie Romero,
Jonathan Gonzalez,
and Tyree Ragland.
Our community partner is Miss Ligia. She suffers from rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is a disease that affects your joints and becomes unable to grip things. Miss Ligia likes to cook, garden, and she also likes to take care of her pets.
It's okay. Okay, there we go.
The solution that we came up with was a water sprinkler that can help Ms. Ligia water her plants.
This is our demo video, and it'll show all of the stuff related to our product and how it will be useful. This right here is our hut and our water tank. The hut is where the sprinkler system is going to go in to refill, and the water tank is where Ms. Ligia connects rainwater so we can use that.
When you turn on the switch, it turns on our prototype and activates the pin barrier so that it doesn't.
Okay. I'm sorry that it's lagging. So basically, the first things we have is the hut, and we also have our water tank. The first big water tank is where she stores her rainwater, and the hut is where the sprinkler is going to go in to recharge because it has a battery, and where the water is going to refill.
Oh, so the suspension is gonna help it so it could get over heavy rocks or bumps. The wheels is for better grip and allowing it to get through mud and dirt.
The switch is to power on our prototype and turn on the pin barrier so that it doesn't get out of the area. The water tank collects the rainwater that she collects, and the battery is rechargeable and powers up the prototype.
So our prototype features is that you can change the water pressure. It has a rechargeable battery. It has strong wheels to help it get through mud and all the other stuff. A refillable tank so that if it runs out, it could just get some more. And it can detect when the soil is dry.
User testing. Ms. Ligia was impressed by our prototype. We planned to use a button, but then we asked if that was comfortable for her, and she said no, so we decided to change it to a switch, which was more to her liking, and it's also more touch sensitive, so it would be easier for her to turn it on.
The competitor matrix. The first one is Traveling Water Sprinkler, which is $4,951. And its features is that it has adjustable speed and it's safe to use. The Orbit Water Sprinkler is $40, and its features is that it can rotate and it's safe to use. And our prototype is $35. And you can tell when the soil is dry and it's safe to use.
Our next steps are to build our product and test it to see if it works or not, and to see if we have to make any adjustments, and setting the price to where it's affordable, and so that if people need it, they could get it at an affordable price. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let me go ahead and stop Mine. So we're going to go ahead and have the judges start and students be ready for Q&A.
Hi, great job. I have a question. I wanted to know how is the battery recharged?
It will
Is
recharge, but like it has a hut, and the hut has a charger like a Roomba. So once it knows when it's low, it'll go and recharge by itself.
Okay, awesome. And my second question is, what type of switch did you all use?
Sort of like any basic light switch, because right now, if we're looking for like any high-tech switch right now, we're probably not able to afford it.
So it's a mechanical switch, something that you flick up, or is it a touch switch? What type is it?
It's a flick switch.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Quick question from me. What were the most challenging parts for you guys when you were trying to create the prototype?
I think that the most challenging part was like the budget, because it was like a pretty low budget kind of. And also probably the communication in my group.
Communication, can you say more on that?
Because like I've never worked with them before, so it was like pretty hard trying to communicate. But then when I got to know them more, like the communication started getting better.
And what worked? What did you guys change to make the communication better between the teams?
Thinking of an idea.
Okay. Thank you. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go into our next team. Thank you guys so much, Droplets. Okay, so our second pitch is Heat from the Young Women's College Preparatory Academy in Houston, Texas. Heat, how can we stay safe and stylish when we're out in extreme temperatures?
Meet the team. We are 8th grade students at Young Women's College Preparatory Academy. Our team members are Geisha A, Gianna F, Adam D, Brenda Aguilar, Julia Ridley, and Jordan Moore. Problem. We are working to protect those who are extreme temperatures. Since we have family members, especially our grandparents, who are often in extreme temperatures, we felt the need to produce a solution. How can we stay safe and stylish?
It took a while, but we found an incredible community partner. We needed someone or a group of people who understood technology but are also exposed to extreme temperatures. Our community partner is a group of employees who work for HydroChem PSC. Their concern is that they work in a refinery in the city of Houston where temperatures can become so extreme that they're deadly. Our community partner wanted us to help solve their problem of communicating with employees when they're in the tank unit with limited access to people. This can be a scary experience. Since they work in a restrictive environment, it was important that we created something practical to use. If a person gets overheated, how will they alert someone? Not only will this work for our community partners, but it can also work for elderly in our community as well.
Solution. Our device, Heat Health Electronic Appliance Team, helps to solve the problem of our community partner. Originally, we decided to create a necklace that could detect extreme body temperature and cool down the body down with the fan. However, our community partner did not think this would be beneficial for their needs. They needed something discreet and compact and could alert someone else in the event of emergency. So we designed a wristband radio that communicates with another wristband radio within 250 feet range.
Introducing Heat, Health Electronic Appliance Team.
Although we had challenges coding the microbit and deciding which code to use, we were able to agree on one solution that our community partners loved. Here's our demonstration of our device. As you can see, once the button is pressed, it alerts the other wearer. It's hot. I think I'm gonna faint. I need to alert somebody.
Oh my gosh, are you okay? Do you need some water?
Yes, thank you.
If I didn't get this alert that Jordan was overheating, something bad could have happened. I'm so grateful for this invention.
Man, it's hot out here. Man, I think I need some help.
I hope you're taking care of yourself using your heat stress plan.
I drink water, but it's not enough.
Leila needs help. Leila, are you okay?
I think I am.
Good deal.
Are you using your experimental device that sends a notification when somebody is having a heat stress issue?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all of your hard work in putting this together. It's really great. We think that it's going to help us going forward. Thank you very much.
Product features. Our product features are a microbit coded as a radio, an elastic wristband that can be adjusted, and it's battery operated.
User testing. Our community partners provided the following feedback. Wow, we didn't think was possible. Working in a refinery in extreme temperatures, we've seen the devastation of heat-related illness. Not only does this device help save employees, our most important asset, it can also save us money.
When we think about competitors, we know there are some similar products such as the Apple Watch and Fitbit. However, we have not been able to find a device that works with the radio feature that makes an alarming sound for the other wearer.
Next steps. Our next steps are to perfect the code and make the wristband a bit more weatherproof. We hope to continue our partnership with our community partner in hopes that they will be able to use the device with multiple employees to help save lives and reduce costs.
All right, thank you guys so much, Heat. And now we'll take it to the judges to start the Q&A.
Awesome job, ladies. I love to see ladies in STEM and tech, so great job with that. My question is, you all have a wristband and you all mentioned the fashion piece, the fashion aspect of it. So what type of ideas are you all thinking about to make it more aesthetically pleasing and attractive from a fashion perspective?
Okay, so originally, since we did not have enough time to originally make it, we want to add little fabrics to the wristband to make it more colorful instead of like a bland, just plain old wristband.
Okay. And are you all thinking of having different types of colors? What type of features will your customers be able to select from, or if you had the funding?
Different designs, like little heart patterns or stars or rainbow colors too, glitter.
Yeah. Just basically different patterns, colors for the fabric for the wristband, and even the covering for the microbit as well.
Right. Awesome. I think you all should think about maybe branded, like you're thinking about your customer's logo, and maybe you utilizing fashion from that sense by using branded colors that's part of their brand. But awesome job, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, nice to meet everyone. I'm Haren. Great job. I thought this was a very interesting product that combined, fashion, wearable technology. One question from me is, if you were to make this product sort of, let's say 2.0, the next level, what would you change?
We would make it more weatherproof, and also we would add more mechanics to to like being able to not only alert the people with you, would be able to alert like the authorities to make sure that you're in a better spot.
Also, I would think we would add a smaller battery that's rechargeable, just so it's more common.
How about sort of automating the alert? What if like the person's already sort of fainting before they're able to press the button?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Does your technology already measure body temperature automatically?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you guys, who did all the coding in your team and sort of selecting what kind of chip to use or microprocessor to use?
It was a group effort.
Yeah, it was.
It was mainly Deja and Jillian and me. It was mainly us three.
Yeah, we were the main coders for it. Yeah.
Which language did you guys use?
We used Python. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Did you guys use Raspberry? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I usually use Python.
Block coding.
Yeah, Python and block coding.
Okay, got it. And have you guys taken classes in coding before?
Yes,
sir.
Okay. What was the most challenging part for you on the project?
We were trying to make like the temperature to make it.
So we were trying to make sure like you could tell like that we were trying to make 3 different like temperature ranges. So just like the regular temperature range, you're getting a little bit too hot and you're getting like overheated, like for sure. And we found it difficult because with the block coding, it wouldn't let you do that. Like you either had to have 2 or just 1. So that was kind of hard for us.
Got it. And then how did you figure out what's the ideal body temperature? Or like what is their body's overheating? How do you sort of sort that out?
We basically researched like the body temperature that was like the hottest that you like that was too hot for you to be, and we just used that and up really.
Did you speak with any of your, I don't know, teachers at school? Maybe someone in biology or?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, it's interesting. The only reason I'm mentioning this is as you problem solve through things in life, you'll notice that often you're working on a particular problem to solve, but it's multidisciplinary, right? You're creating a wearable technology, but then you have to understand the science of human body, like what the right temperature is. So I think collaboration, not within your team, but other disciplines, I think will take you far ahead in the future. So great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Heat. And then we're going to go on to our next team. Okay. All right, so our third pitch is Biodome from Bostonian Global in El Cajon, California, a biodome to help improve the garden environment, helping plants thrive.
Hi, my name is Peyton and I'm the manager of BioBuns. And today we will be talking about the information and the garden's problems. The problem that we want to solve in the garden is dehydration and lead problem. The plants are the plants don't get lots of water, so we want to create a sprinkler system so we can evenly water the plants. There's lead in the water which will soon build up and be a bigger problem. So we want to add a filter so we can filterize the water. That's going to be going to the plants. We think that we can solve these problems when there will be a difference in the plants. So we will find and see what kind of types we can grow. This is Chris.
The microbe will be used by knowing if the plants need water or if they have enough water. It will detect if they are hydrated or hydrated.
How will the biodome be used? Our biodome will help the plants in their natural habitat
other plants too. How it works is that the biodome we use, whatever to use to water the plants. The dome will protect it from invasive bugs that will kill the plants.
Oh, similar invention photo number one. Yeah, it looks cool. Similar invention number two. How we plan to make it. Plan to make a 4x4 base and build it up to make into a biodome for the plants to live in. It will be sturdy for the winter and you can deflat it whatever you would like to. The base will be waterproof. It will have a footpad to open and close it. It will also have a hose connected to it, so you don't have to go in every time you want to water it. When you open up the hose, you'll sprinkle water to the plant and water them. You also have a device to see when the plants need water and when it's done.
What the biodome will do. The biodome will work to help the plants grow. For example, it will water the plants and it will keep the plants organized. It could also help find what you're looking for.
So this is the project. Uh-oh. Why did it hold up? Wait, it's loading. Okay. So this is the project. There's a waterproof mat, and this is the dome. You can open and close it, and there's like a sprinkler system. Yeah, and this is gonna be connected to the hose.
I can edit it.
To our conclusion, you should invest into our product because it can help the plants grow. The school will have a healthy garden for you. You will be able to access the plants that you need for the vegetable and fruit and flowers. Thank you for watching our video.
Bye.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And now we're gonna take it to the judges for Q&A.
I'm happy to go first. Hi team, nice to meet you all. Maybe I missed it, but correct me if I'm wrong. Who was your client and what was their problem that they were trying to solve?
Yeah. I know. I actually forgot her name, but we were solving the lead and dehydration problem.
The lead in the water. Okay. And then, how does the biodome address the filtration of lead?
Well, actually, that's a different part. But we actually have a filtered tube that we have. So if there is lead, like when the lead is going through, we can stop it from going to the plants.
But how does that happen?
So
What mechanism did you use?
So there's it's like a tiny hose part to the tube that separates chunks of like say dirt from the actual water so it can go through easily. So what it is, the filter is gonna let all the lead and stuff stay where it is, but the water is gonna go freely through.
Okay. And what did your client have to say about your product when they tried it? Or the solution you brought to them?
It was good.
Okay. What was the hardest thing for you guys?
Probably finding a good way to solve the problem.
What part of the problem was hard to solve?
The lead filtration, actually.
Okay. And how did you come about to the, fixing that or addressing that problem?
We actually had a few ideas, but we stuck on the filtration water hose system because it was the most it was in our budget, and we could do it like not easier, but we can work harder on it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Great job.
Awesome job. I heard someone introduce themselves as the manager. Are one of you the manager? You're the manager? Okay. So can you tell me about the roles of the members of your team?
Yeah, so right here is Nick. He's our like technical advisor, I guess. Most of our team isn't here, it's just me and him, but Anthony, Asil, Octavio, and was Ali in the video? Oh yeah, and Ali, they were just they were people that like just basically helped. Like they worked on the project basically.
Okay. And how did you pick who was on your team and decide what role to give them?
We actually didn't pick. We were we were given teammates basically.
Okay. And you were assigned the manager? Or did you all collaborate and determine that you would be the manager?
One of them just told me I was.
Okay. So how much would you sell this product for?
Basically, I think materials were about $60. So if you need so yeah, that's like that's at least 70. It's about 70 because it helps your water it helps your water systems, and it helps your garden if you have one.
Okay. And then how much did it cost to make the biodome?
To make it is about 40 to 55, depending on where you get the parts from, or how big the parts are, or how they're made.
Okay. And so how did you all determine what parts to use? Did you just source them like from the store off the shelf, or did you 3D print them? Did you manufacture them? What was your process for identifying the parts to use?
Well, first we had to figure out how we would how big the lead problem is. So if it was like a little tiny problem, we would have got like a smaller tube. But if it was a problem like now, we have a tube it's not too big, but it really depends on how big the problem is.
Okay, so are these biodomes customizable in terms of the size? Like depending on the problem, will like the size change depending on how big the problem is, or are they going to be a standard size?
They're standard size, but you can get like multiple for half of it.
Okay.
So they're about 3 foot, and they're in width. They're 215 in width. If you know what that is, like 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you. Awesome job.
All right, thank you so much, Biodome. And then we'll go on to our next one. We have another, let me see. We have another Bostonian Global team from Cajon, California. We have Watergation.
Our team name is Messi the Goat. Our project name is Watergation. Made by Alice, Jabril, Isaiah, Midwaste, Jacob, Tosser, Farah, Faiza, and Xavier.
Our community name partner is Miss Ariel. The reason why we're helping her is because the garden is dried up and it needs a better irrigation system. Miss Ariel is an advisor at Bostonia Global High School and Middle School, and she works with the garden.
My name is Lewis. Our product name is water irrigation. I'm going to use my product to help water the plants. My product checks to see the water level in the soil. If the soil is too dry, my product will be automatically water the plant.
We are trying to listen to Miss Ariel feedback. For the feedback, she said don't use metal pipes, so we switched to plastic pipes. And she also told us that we should use an automatic system instead of a manual one.
So our product. Garden tools, $13. Sprinkler, $10. Hose, $12. Bucket, $6. 3 pipes, $9. All equals to $50. $45 is how much we're gonna buy our product. $6.56 is how much we're gonna sell it for. All totals up to $114.
Our product name is Watergation. Watergation is made of a plastic pipe going down 3 feet into the ground. There is a hole in the top of the pipe. Water goes in the hole and into the ground. Watergate knows when it's dry and waters it, or when it has enough, the water stops.
Why is our project better? Our project's better than our water pressure because our products cost less, and they are not easy to make than a water pressure. But we do think we may be easier to use because we don't need to check on it that much. You don't have to pick it up. You don't have to. You don't have to just have. Oh, you just have to turn it on to make sure it is working. But our water pressure, you have to just push a button for it to work.
Our turn. The sprinkler is easy. It's similar to water irrigation, but has worse features. Ours is easy to manufacture, because we have easy features in the sprinkler. For example, the water irrigation can transfer water from the random sink/hose all the way to the plant. Ours is different because it will be more reliable, cheap, easy to make, and transfer water quicker. Yeah.
My name is Tasser. The next thing we will do in the product is improve the better presence in the culture of elderly and disabled people. In order to improve this project, we will add things to the slide, such as improve and a better system in the future. We will try to build a website, promote, and sell them a product.
Thank you very much for watching. If you have any feedback to let us know, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Watergation. And now we'll take it back to our judges to start our Q&A.
Hi, team Watergation. Awesome job. My question is, one, in terms of the Watergation system, how is it installed? Is it installed or, so tell me more about once the customer receives it, how they're supposed to use it, get it into the ground and all of that.
So we're still working on project. We want to install.
Okay, so how are you all measuring how well it performs? Like, how are you all measuring its performance?
We're still working on our product.
so far. So in the future, we'll figure that out.
So you built, has you all have not completely built it yet to test it?
No.
Okay. So what challenges are you all having that's has held you up with completing it?
Working together and finding out ideas.
Okay. So are there team roles within the team? Do you all have specific roles or is
No.
there? Okay. So is that something you all are working on, maybe coming up with a process for delegating responsibilities to team members?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good.
Quick question for you guys. Great job, by the way. When you think about how did you guys figure out what's the right level of water for the plants?
So we will keep trying to see how much we can give to the plants. When we find it out, we'll talk about that much.
Okay. Did you consider the kind of garden or plants that are planted in the garden that might have different water needs? Is there a solution to adjust, the sensitivity of the system based on what you've planted? Did you okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we will put a microbit like as a sensor for our project or irrigation system.
Okay, thank you.
Indeed.
Good job, guys.
All right, thank you guys so much. And then let's go on to our next one. Okay. All right, and so we have NaniCube from George Makerspace in White Salmon, Washington. Oh, I'm sorry, but this so yes. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Our team name is.
Sorry about that. Okay. Let me. Oh, I think. Let me just check really quick. Okay. Okay, I see what I had. I'm sorry, that was correct. I was just looking at the team name and then versus the product. Sorry, that was correct. Okay. All right, so we have NaniCube from George Makerspace, White Salmon, Washington. This is a vibrant interactive toy that soothes and distracts when kids can't sleep or relax. Okay. All right.
Over 1 in 100 kids in the US suffer from autism, and we may have a solution.
Hi, we're the representatives from Team NaniCube. I'm Sofia Mosqueda.
And I'm Lila Zimmerman.
Our team consists of an array of 8 grades, ages, and skills. We have an age range from 5th to 8th, as well as a diverse selection of skill sets varying in both soft skills and hard skills.
Everybody on the team has contributed in some way, whether it be connecting with the consumer or building the actual prototype.
Our community partner,
Ezra,
Ezra, has autism, and though these conditions don't stop him from loving the outdoors, spinning, and being in the water, it does make it hard for him to understand time-related concepts and getting a good night's rest.
So we decided to tackle the problem related to him not sleeping.
We decided to make this decision because it could have potentially negative effects on Ezra and because it gave his parents a hard time.
I'd like Ezra to sleep more consistently through the night. About 50% of nights, Ezra wakes up early and stays awake until bedtime that evening.
This was a concern that Ezra's mom, Catherine, voiced when we interviewed her and Ezra's dad, Jesse, earlier this year.
Hence, we started to brainstorm a solution, and we came up with the Nanny Cube.
The idea was that it would be a durable, waterproof, plastic-sealed cube that would be small enough to hold in your palm but would emit colors and sensations for the user, as well as help them communicate and tell time. We had many ideas of what it would look like and consist of. A handful of original input ideas we had included sound, movement, pressure, and time of day. This is a demonstration of how our product works.
Also, there would be a generated output, such as sound, vibration, and light.
But we wanted to have a diagram of how it would work and it would look like. So we decided to make a system diagram. This is what our prototype looks like.
But would it be enough to best other competition in the market? In order to come to a consensus, we compared other products available to consumers.
As you can see, none of them matched what our Nanny Cube could do.
We wanted to have an estimate of supply and demand, so we made a chart to finalize the number of people that have access to our product.
Including SOM, parents whose young children need a way to tell time when also being entertained, SAM, parents with access to USA stores, and TAM, people with access to electricity. The Nanny Cube, of course, may seem expensive, but the Nanny Cube is still in its prototyping stage, meaning that the number you see is the cost of the prototype.
Exceeding that, the Nanny Cube is more directed and focused on children that have sensory challenges, unlike the leading competition.
Our initial approach to the marketing strategy, consisting of making a website and then later distributing it through bigger enterprises such as Amazon and brand stores.
So, what's our next move?
Well, our intuitive idea was to make it even more durable than the prototype.
On that note, we also have decided that we would like to make our gadget more cost-effective.
And then finish it off by using environmentally friendly material to succeed said goals. But if that wasn't convincing enough, the Nanny Cube would not also help benefit kids with autism,
but also kids and adults with sleeping problems,
sensory processing disorder,
seasonal affective disorder,
and could even possibly help people with ADHD, helping them with memory and attention span.
Furthermore, the colors of the cube could help people with stress, since it has been proven that different colors can set different moods. Thank you for giving us a moment of your time. We appreciate it a lot.
We look forward to answering any questions you may have.
All right, thank you guys. And now we'll give it to the judges for Q&A.
Awesome job, Nanny Cube. I love how comprehensive your pitch deck was, from the distribution channels to the TAM, the SAM, the SOM. You all really gave a lot of thought to your pitch deck. So awesome job. My question is, how are you all measuring how the Nanny Cube performs? So how are you all measuring its performance?
We sort of tried to, we were sort of just measuring about how much Ezra liked it or didn't like it. Like we weren't really focused on measuring more on like the subjects of how it would affect him. So we were measuring it on more if it helped him or not.
So when you say how how he interacted with it, like how long he held it in his hand, how long before he went to sleep, what type of qualitative measurements were you all assessing or analyzing?
Well, the reason we made the Nanny Cube is to help him sleep. So I guess we were sort of measuring it if he slept longer or if it helped him at all relax or entertain him.
Okay. And so what are the results saying?
We don't really have a bunch of results yet, but we know that it's probably going to help him, and because he really liked it, we're still going to have to do a few tests to see for sure if it did help him or not. But based on the data we have now, it probably does help him in a few areas of entertainment and sleep.
Okay. And as far as the hardware, I want to learn a little bit more about the hardware that you all put together. How did you all source the parts? What are some of the parts that you used?
It depends if you mean like for a prototype
Yeah,
or for the prototype. So for the prototype, we weren't really focused on working on the prototype. We were more on inputs, outputs, etc. Mostly we were just focused on doing something that would eventually like be sort of similar to that, except a little bit more complex and interactive. For the prototype, we didn't spend lots of time working on that. We mostly worked on, we used silica to make a mold to resemble like a rubber square. If it of course was not exactly the shape we wanted it to be, but it had an LED inside. And that would be the idea of what it would be like in the process when we later finally started finalizing our prototype, like 2.0.
Okay. Okay. Good job.
I think, yeah, we spent a lot of the time working more on the coding portion of it. So like the inputs that would then result in the outputs. So right now what we have is like the coded section that doesn't completely work. And then we have our prototype, which was a light set in like a cube of silicone, basically. So we have that prototype and that code, and they're not one product yet. But
Okay. Did you all sketch out the design for the prototype? Did you all like sketch a design, or you just started picking up parts and pieces and putting it together? Like, was there a systematic way of putting the prototype together?
Yes, we planned and replanned and like refixed every single little design. And eventually we came up with what would end up being 3 little squares. One would be the main base, the middle one. One would be inside, keeping the battery safe as long as all of the coding and wires and lights to keep them on the outside. And the one at the very outside, we would have like plastic wrap outside to keep it from being harmful or damaging to Ezra.
Thank you.
Team, great job. Was very impressed by the problem that you were trying to solve and the solution you came up with it. Couple of questions from me. One around what part, like, I understand you guys wrote a code. What was the intention, or what is the sort of, what is the code supposed to do?
To tell the lights what to do, how to flash, when to flash, to make it activated to try and tinker with wireless charging so we would not have spare wires, and just to sort of tell the cube what to do. This would be inserted into probably an Arduino inside of the cube, which would later tell the lights to flash and etc.
yeah, the goal of the coding was to control the inputs and outputs and have outputs that reacted from the inputs. And then the end goal was to put the coding into, like, I think it was a mini Arduino mini, and put that into a silicone mold and have all the lights and sensors in there. And that was our end product. We didn't get to that, but that's what the coding's for.
And on the high level, if you can just tell me, what were the key inputs that the system's supposed to take, and what are the key outputs that the code is supposed to process and react?
Mostly the lights, because that was like our main idea. We tinkered a lot with the idea of having different kinds of inputs and outputs, but mostly we just ended up with lights because lights are proven to be relaxing, calming, and could be used for many different ways if used and like used in different ways to make them do like a different thing for a different person.
And what would you say is triggers it, right? Understand different lights or colors, like what triggers it?
Pressure can trigger it, like how hard you squeeze it could change different lights and stuff.
Okay.
Because he likes to put a lot of pressure, like in biting and squeezing his toys, and if it's durable enough, it should be able to withstand all that and kind of tell us what he's feeling to show what lights, like if he's really mad and is squeezing it really hard, it could like show soothing lights or something.
Okay, it's helpful.
I think another input we had planned was time of day, so that depending on what time of day, the light color would be different or something to try and communicate like what time it is. Because another issue Ezra's parents mentioned was that they had trouble communicating time related concepts. So that was another idea.
Interesting. Okay, that's very helpful. How did you guys sort of learn more about autism and what are the pain points, sort of researching who did you collaborate with? How did you research about autism? Yeah, and sort of what features to select?
I can like answer this briefly because I'm pretty sure we're out of time, but we sort of just observed and researched, mostly just observing side effects and trying to stem off that to make a device that could be suitable for his needs.
Okay, thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go back to Bostonia Global. Okay, and we have Sprink 3D.
We are Iris WC. My name is Jada. My name is Kayla. My name is Leslie. My name is Roberta. My name is Natalie. And my name is Roberta. Our design thinking process is to empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Our process goals are to make a real impact, learn and design engineering skills, and impact at scale. We have been dealing with water reason for many years. Around 39 gallons per person is being wasted. Our community partner, Dr. Jess Lebrey, told us that the biggest problem is when people water the lawns for too long or when they take long showers. So we came up with 3 ideas to help with this problem. How are our projects work?
Hey, can I request the team to speak up a little louder? It's it's a video, right? Sorry.
Yes, sorry.
No worries.
Our first idea is a sprinkler called Sprink 3D. It would sense how much water and how moist your grass is, and it would have a 3D scanner to see what type of grass it is and how much water it would need. Our second idea is a filter called WC filter. It would be connected to the sprinkler, and it would
All right, thank you. Now we'll bring it to our judges and team. Thank for Q&A.
Hi. So I had a really hard time hearing you all as well. So some of my questions I'm going to be asking because I just didn't hear you all at all. But I understand that this is a water filtration system. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then what is the value proposition? What is unique, novel about your product?
What's unique is that it's connected to a sprinkler, and it wouldn't make the water drinkable, but it would make it clean enough to water your lawn.
Okay, so it is the filter that you all design, right?
Yeah.
And then I did hear 3D scan or 3D print. What did you all use some 3D
Yeah.
printing technology? Tell me more about that.
So the sprinkler, it would have a 3D scanner to see what type of grass you have, to make sure it could water it exactly, along with a moisture sensor to see how moist your grass is already.
Oh, okay. And so that is what you all, the sensors that you all put into your filter product? Or you're saying that you want to have a moisture sensor and a 3D scanner, or does your product already contain those elements?
Well, our main focus isn't really the filter. It's mostly the sprinkler. The filter is just something that we added.
Oh, okay. So then tell me about the sprinkler. Tell me what's unique about this.
So the sprinkler, it wouldn't have a timer, because we thought that timers on sprinklers wouldn't work out because you set the timer and you don't know how much grass your water needs and how much you've already watered it. So we thought, what if we add a moisture sensor with a 3D scanner to see what type of grass you have and how moist it is? So then it could water it exactly how it is.
Oh, okay, great. And my final question is, so once you all built it, how are you measuring how well it's performing?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sorry.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Oh, sure. I said, how are you all measuring how well your sprinkler system is performing?
We plan to measure it by testing it on one of our own yards to see if it'll actually water it after a week and if we'll water it how we planned.
So what are the results? Have you tested it already?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So you plan to test it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't have any more questions. Great job.
Great job, team. What were some of the biggest challenges that you guys faced as you're trying to solve this problem?
Getting along.
What was hard about getting along?
We most of us were trying to have other ideas, and we fought because we wanted to know which one of our ideas was the most best, but we chose Sprint 3D because we know that we all agreed on it.
Sorry, what was the last part?
That we all agreed on doing Sprint 3D.
Okay, and how did you guys get to consensus or an agreement that whose idea was going to move forward?
With how we came to consensus was that we got advice from a person that works at Google, and he said that all three of our ideas are very compatible, so we should combine them. Then we got another idea from this guy named Dave, and he said that we should focus on one prototype and then work on the others.
And then what was your, sorry, and I couldn't hear you earlier properly, but what was your customer's biggest pain point? What were they trying to solve for?
Well, our community partner, her name is Dr. Jess Lovering, and she works in the water district at San Francisco as a longtime water planner. She said that a lot of the leading causes for water wastage is taking long showers and watering your lawn. We decided to tackle watering your lawn.
Okay. And how did you find your product? Did your product meet its expectations or exceed them?
We think it will meet expectations.
Okay. Thank you. Great job, guys.
Thank you. And also we made a website that can tell us a little bit more about us and our prototypes.
Great.
All right. Oops. Okay. And so our next pitch is going to be Grip Glove from Bostonian Global again, El Cajon, California, helping people one grip at a time. Okay, I think I can figure. Yes.
The Grip Glove by the GGs. Our group, the GGs.
My name is Ariana Esquivel. My name is Valeria.
My name is Roseli Mesa.
My name is George.
My name is Emiliano Delgado.
And my name is Bradley Hildebrand.
Our community partner. Here you go. Miss Ligia loves to garden, cook, and spend time with her dog and spend time with her family. Miss Ligia has rheumatoid arthritis. She has rheumatoid arthritis from when she was young. The problem. What is the problem? Rheumatoid arthritis. What is rheumatoid arthritis? Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease that causes your immune system to mistakenly attack your joints. Miss Ligia suffers from rheumatoid arthritis, and specifically, she has trouble grabbing opening items with her hands. Our solution to rheumatoid arthritis is to help Miss Ligia with day-to-day activities such as gardening, cooking, opening doors, and opening cans.
Our demo. For our demo, all you need to do to use the glove is to turn on the flashlight, you need to push a button, and then to turn off the flashlight, you need to push another button. The grip parts are to help grip things better.
This is our glove, the grip glove. Our glove has a Velcro strip in case to make the glove tighter or looser.
Once you turn over, you will have two buttons. One will turn on the light and one will turn off the light.
Once you flip over the glove, you will see the grip part of our glove. Here's a close-up. Thank you! Features and additions. Features and additions that we have on our product are a light which will help her look in the dark, and being adjustable on the bottom of her wrist because it has a Velcro that will help her adjust it, and rubber pieces for the grip part so it won't be harder for it just to be plain. And the input in our glove are two buttons in the microbit that are A and B. The button A, when it's pressed, turns on the light, and the button B pressed turns off the light.
User test. Miss Ligia was very satisfied with the gloves as it met all of her needs and conditions. First of all, we changed from a glove to a microbit because our main emphasis of this school year has been to learn how to use the microbit. And second of all, the We got a Velcro for adjustable sizes, so it's able to fit more people easier. Finally, we changed the glove to become fingerless, as it would as most people's fingers become deformed, and that would make it less comfortable.
Competitors. The therapeutic grip compression glove. The cost is $25.99. The special editions is grip and the ease of use is good. Is okay. Hemvana arthritis gloves for $19.99. Its special editions is arthritis relief and the ease of use is good. Vive arthritis gloves for $11.99. It has no special editions and the ease of use is bad. And lastly, the GG glove, which is our glove, for $14.99. And special editions is grip, adjustable size, and light. The ease of use is good. The reason we chose this price for our glove is because the sum of all of our materials we're using on one pair of gloves equals to around $10 to $15.
Our next steps are to present and finish our product and then we want to make our product more diverse to treat more diseases such as osteoarthritis and carpal tunnel. Finally, we want to get the grip glove into pharmacies and general stores such as Target, Walmart, and more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tienen preguntas?
All right, thank you. And now we are going to give it to the judges for your questions.
All right, Team Grip Club, awesome job. My question is, what exactly is a microbit? What is a microbit? Tell me about it and how you all integrated it into your glove. What is the microbit?
So basically the microbit is used to conduct a flashlight, which will be able to let her see through the night and be able to grab things even when it's dark. And so she'd have more use for it to find things and be able to also grip things too. So that's what we're using the microbit for.
Okay, so how does the glove enable her to grip things better?
So the glove has these little rubber grip parts that allows her to have more grip onto her hand, and it's fingerless.
Okay. And so it's a light as well as the actual gripping pieces on the glove. Essentially, that's the value proposition. Those are the two elements. The novelty around your product.
Yes.
And so are there team members? Do you all have individual roles?
No.
Okay. So how did you all plan on working collaboratively?
We all came up with each of our own ideas, and as we communicated more, we came up with the one idea to improve our glove and what didn't work with our glove.
Was that an easy process for you all to work together and to hear each other's ideas?
The process was actually a bit hard, but because we actually have a big team, but once we figured it all out, it made it a lot easier.
Okay. And how big is your team? Is this the full team?
No, this is not the full team. We have one member missing, and her name is Rosalie Mesa.
Okay. All right. Well, great job, Flip Glove.
Great job, guys. Nice to meet you all. My question is around how did you guys research and find out more about arthritis?
we went online and researched many websites about arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and things related to that, so we could find information on what would affect our our partner, and we also asked our partner herself what is wrong with her, what is affecting her life with rheumatoid arthritis.
And what was the hardest, the most challenging part for you guys?
Oh, the most hard part. Wait, what was the question again? Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, what was the most challenging aspect of working on this project or getting the product built?
I believe that there were two difficult parts. First of all, is overall the software, because the software is kind of confusing in a way. After that, second of all, trying to gather up all of our ideas and decide on one thing.
And how did you solve those? On the software piece, how did you address that?
We solved them by coming up with a way that would be able to fit all of our ideas in a way, like the light. And so our software, we just practiced, and after that, finally with the teamwork, we just decided to pick the idea which was best for everybody. Like the idea that we all agreed on in the end.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you guys so much. And then we're gonna go on to our next pitch, which is for, just fix this. This is for Team Back Pat, okay? Or sorry, our pitch is Back Pat. And this is also from George Makerspace, White Salmon, Washington. The Back Pat is a durable, lightweight, and functional device that solves your posture and back problems.
One. This is Team Backpack. We made the backpack for people with postural deficits and those who have a hard time with back pain. This is Pat, our community partner. He loves to motorbike, garden, and ski. He's very passionate about gardening and motorbiking. This brings him lots of joy and helps connect with his inner self. 5 years ago, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and is worried that someday he won't be able to do the things that he loves. People with Parkinson's struggle with bad posture and might not notice until it's too late. This can lead to permanent back pain and chronic back pain. Meet our team. From left to right, top to bottom: Bjorn, age 11, Liv, age 12, Alex, age 11, Isabel, age 13, and Lucia, age 11. What's the problem? Tons of people suffer from chronic back pain. Flex postures are tough for the spine and can lead to falls. All of the monitors out there are too expensive or don't work at all. Enter the backpack. Discreet, durable, comfortable, and functional. This monitor is the cheapest and best that you can get. It's programmed to beat past a 45-degree spinal flexion, so you can work without the worry that you might hurt your back. It's very pain-free, and it works. This is our product demo. Here's Bjorn with the demo. What I have on is the backpack. When we lean over, it beats. Past a spinal flexion of 45 degrees. This is our competition. It's shown on this list with our product, the backpack, below. As you can see, most companies aren't good for the environment and also a bit bulky. Our product fits all the criteria and is sold at a cheap price. As we move forward, we hope to make the backpack something that people can access easily. We also want to make it much safer for the environment and reduce our carbon footprint. We want to make it a lot more effective. The beeping is sort of annoying, so we'd like to change it into something more soothing, but something you wouldn't want to hear all the time. Overall, we just want to make it better. Thank you for listening to our presentation. The end.
All right, thank you guys so much. And now we'll give it to the judges for Q&A.
Okay. Awesome job, team. Backpack. Getting a little tongue-tied trying to say it with the mute on, but backpack. So I wanted to know, is it a sound alarm system? Like, is that the feature that it will notify you by a sound when you move past the first a certain inflection point? Is that the gist of the inventive concept?
Yes, it is sort of the concept.
Okay. So who's your customer? Like, are you selling this directly to those folks who have these back problems, or are you selling it to a retail store, or are you selling it to doctors' offices? Who's your customer?
Should oh I guess we could sell it directly to people online, and we could also sell it to doctors' offices. So, and other pharmacy stores.
And then how much did it cost to make your prototype?
Not that much, because our prototype is basically just a microbit and code, and then we hope to have casing on it that looks like appealing, I guess.
And then how does it attach to, so you said not much, it doesn't cost much.
No.
Does it cost much is, how much is not much?
It would cost like around $20, because we hope to use Velcro to attach it to humans.
Okay, so well, you would sell it for $20, but how much is it less than $10 to make it? Is it $5? How much does it cost to make it? What's your head to estimate?
I bet it would cost like, yeah, $10 to $15.
Okay. And then how big is your team?
So we have 5 people, and the other people just weren't available today.
Okay. And my last question is around the backpack. How did you all come up with that name?
So originally we were gonna try and put it on a backpack of some sort, and we're like back pat, and we were trying to rhyme things, and that's just what we came up with.
Okay, pretty cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great job, both of you. I have bad posture and back pain, so if you guys ever launch a product, I'll definitely make sure to buy it. My question for you guys is, how did you guys research, did you guys try to research more about, human body and how sort of the spine works?
Yeah, so we researched some of that, and there was different kids that did that and kids who made it. And then we learned a lot about Parkinson's disease, because one of the kids on our team, Bjorn, his mom works with people with Parkinson's disease.
Okay. Who did you sort of reach out to or collaborate with outside of your group to learn more?
Well, Bjorn's mom, Google, well, not the Google company, but just online.
Online, yeah.
And yeah, and we also learned about it from our community partner.
Okay. What was the toughest thing for you guys, or the hardest thing working on this project?
Well, probably finding our idea, because that took a while for us, because we were going in between a lot of different ideas. So yeah.
And how did you land on the idea?
Well, we sort of thought it would work for a lot more people, and that we just liked it a lot better.
Okay, thank you so much. Great job.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so our last pitch is going to come from Phoenix Compost Bin from Bostonia Global in El Cajon, California. And we have a solar-powered rotating compost bin.
Hi, this is our presentation. My name is Sabrina. My name is Santa.
And my name is Marion.
Our project is called the Phoenix Compost Bin because it is powered by the sun. Basically a solar powered paneled compost bin. Some of these actually exist in the world, but they cost lots of money. We're going to try and make a cheaper but more efficient version of it. We got this idea because the high schoolers they having to stir it themselves. The hard part will be getting the parts for cheaper prices. Murray!
As you know, our idea is to make a solar-powered compost bin. Inside the bin, there will be fin-shaped blades that will help stir the compost. The bin itself will also rotate 360 degrees with a motor. We will put a lock on the bin just in case someone or something tries to open it when they shouldn't. We will also try to have a backup power system for when it's not sunny.
The problem is the soil, it doesn't have enough nutrients. The way we'll help fix this is that the compost will mix around and then you will put this in the soil. And supposedly it will start to be more nutrient. The compost will help retain the moisture and nutrients, making the soil healthier. We will also be putting the worms inside so they won't.
The FCMP IM4000 dual chamber tumbling composter is similar to our design because it also rotates. One of the few differences is that it is not solar powered and it's not powered by the motor. You have to manually rotate it.
Oh, this is here.
The Green Cone Solar Waste Digester is similar to our design because it is powered by the sun. It is different because it doesn't rotate and it doesn't have the blades to help mix it.
Sorry. The RSI 65 plastic tumbler composter is similar to our design because it spins around, even though it is not automatic. It does not have any power source. It isn't closest to our design, but it is similar. The target population that we are trying to sell into is the gardeners in our world that need help with their compost. We need your help to make our design market and so that the people in the world can see it and try it out. The average price if it sells will be around $150 to $250, just so that we can make the money to sell more. Abby.
What we need from our ventures is a portion of the profits and to be recognized as the
creator.
Recognized as the creator. My venture is going to help thousands, maybe even millions of gardeners have healthier soil. It is extremely cheap for technology and time that went into it. Making it similar products cost $100 to $200 more than our design.
For the gardeners that are going to be buying our invention, here are some tips for using our design. When raining, ensure that the Phoenix composter is under covers such as a tarp or canopy. Ensure that the composter is switched to the off position before opening. Ensure that the worm population is doing well. If not, replenish worms 2 times a month to make sure that they're okay. Make sure to connect to a backup power source when not sunny.
All right. Okay, now we're gonna get off to our judges for Q&A. Thank you.
I think you're on mute. Oh, happy to go ahead. Really good job, guys. Nice to meet you. Can you guys tell me what was your customer's main pain point that you were trying to solve?
Can you say that again?
What was your customer's problem that you were trying to solve with your product?
The problem that we were trying to solve is Miss Ariel is having trouble with her garden and her garden isn't growing any crops, so we were trying to fix the problem in the soil that maybe that will help it like make better plants.
Okay. And I mean, could she go buy like, topsoil from Home Depot versus having to compost?
Yes, but we're also trying to make it more easier for the high schoolers that are the ones stirring like the soil.
Mhm.
And right now the compost, we're trying to make it so that they will be able to do it without having to actually smell the smell and like touch the compost. Until
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. How did you guys think about sort of sorry, I'm blanking, but how would your customer know how to use your product when it arrives?
So we're gonna make like a little instructions manual for her and we've also met with her in person and talked to her about our design, and she says that she really likes it so far. So we're gonna try and make it easier for other people to use.
And did you mention your product is solar powered?
Yes, we did.
Is there a backup power? I mean, I'm just wondering if there's a rainy day.
Yes.
How do you?
Well, that's what we're trying to invest in right now. We need like a battery that can power two 12-volt motors. So we've been searching for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome job. So one, I wanted to know what's the meaning behind the name? How did you all come up with the name?
So with the name, we kind of just, since it was solar powered, we just thought of something that had to do with like heat or flames and stuff, and that's how we came up with that.
Okay. And are you the team lead?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And so how did you go about leading your team in terms of delegating work, working collaboratively?
So basically we assigned a few different roles. The girls behind us did the design of the slides, and another person that isn't here, unfortunately, he was the one who helped me with deciding what technology we should put into it, and he's the one that's going to be helping me code it with the microbit.
Awesome. And so how big is your team?
We have around like 8 to 10 people, I think, because a bunch of people didn't want to be in their groups and they kept joining ours. So
That's a nice sized team. Last question is, did we talk about the pricing? Did you all mention price and how much you all would sell this for?
yes, we're going to make it for cheaper. We just we're gonna try and make it for a cheaper price. We just set that as like an average, like just for like if it actually sells well, we might raise it a little bit just so we can like get the parts, because all of the parts together are over $100. So we're going to try and make it cheaper for the people who can't afford more for them to be able to use it.
Okay. And what was that price that you said you all would sell it for?
150 to 250.
Okay. Price point. All right. Well, awesome job. I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, and that wraps up our pitches. Congratulations to all of our brilliant student teams and amazing support network of teachers, mentors, and family. Our panelists will now head off to another room where they will have time to deliberate, okay, and decide on our 4 awards, and the rest of us are now in for an incredible treat with our keynote speaker, followed by some highlights of this year from each of our teams. Okay. And our keynote speaker today is Hatch Graham, who is the chairman, CEO, co-founder, and co-founder of Lassen Peak Incorporated. Hatch spent 15 years of managing a Silicon Valley venture capital firm. Now he has returned to hands-on startup creation and investing and early stage growth. He continues to innovate and engineer products for social good. Please welcome Hatch. The floor is yours.
Hello, and thanks for having me today. I'm going to share a presentation for you that walks a little bit through my background as an inventor, how I got here, and something I'm working on today that sort of fits what you have all taken on as your mission, and that is to do a good cause for society. I think every single presentation I saw was basically to help people, and I think that's very commendable and fantastic. It's great to see that. What I'm going to mix in is a little bit about the business aspects, and maybe you can take away something about that. So let me make sure that you can see my screen okay. Everybody give me a thumbs up on that. Awesome. Okay, so with this, you know, if you're going to be an inventor, if you're going to build stuff and you enjoy it, you're going to do this for a long, long time. And when you get a job in the world, you're going to get paid, you're going to buy cars, and you're going to get a house, and you're going to have children or not. And but at the same time, you want to get a job that if you're an inventor, you continually get to invent. And so how I got here was I say a history of carefully selected career path. Not at all. I was a horrible student. I lost a football scholarship to the University of Washington because of my bad grades in high school. And I lost that scholarship in April of my senior year. So as you're thinking about college or what's next in life after high school, if you know in your senior year, you should already have that figured out. So what I found out is that even though I was a pretty good football player, grades mattered. And just here's a math lesson. When you take University of Washington, and that year they were the Rose Bowl champs, and you add a 1.96 GPA into that, you go to a different school. And so I ended up at Idaho State University, small school, worst in the conference, tiny little football team, tiny little college. But you can turn things around. You can be a bad student and you can recover from that. And the great news is that at a small college, they have small classes and they have access to the professors. And in one case, I was interviewed in the newspaper of why I came to the college. And I didn't want to tell the truth and say, because I lost my scholarship at a better college. So I just said, I like the environment. And I had a note put on my dormitory door the next Monday from the dean of the College of Engineering, because in the interview, all of the other freshman football players were saying, I'm going into physical education. They just kept saying the same thing. And so I said, I'm going into nuclear science engineering. I was just kidding around. And the dean of the College of Engineering put a note on my door the next Monday, said, welcome aboard. We haven't had a ball player for quite some time. So I ended up going into nuclear engineering just by accident, by being a smart aleck. So a lot of times your career path, you never know how you're going to get there, but you just want to keep leaning forward. If you like to invent and create stuff, just keep leaning towards that direction. So this was the only university with a nuclear reactor, and a nuclear reactor creates power. And I thought, well, that's great. If it's the only campus that has one, well, here's another math lesson. You add that to the dean saying, come on in, and that's going to be a big job with big money. However, during the next year, there was a near meltdown at a big reactor in America. It almost killed 2 million people. And I thought, nah, there's not going to be any jobs anymore in nuclear science. So I made a quick change into the semiconductor theory, and this is microchips. So a lot of your efforts that you worked on your projects had chips and little LEDs and things like that. Well, this was the infancy of that industry. I'm so old, this was when it was all being created, and I was pretty good at it. So when you add semiconductor theory together with digital logic, Here's another math lesson. You moved to Silicon Valley in the Bay Area, in San Francisco. That's where all the infancy and that's where all the startups of microchips came from. And so I moved there after college, and it just shows you that you can sort of wander a little bit, but if you keep leaning towards what you're interested in, and if you like to invent, just keep leaning that way. You don't have to have it figured out right away. So I ended up getting good jobs, and I ended up building a lot of stuff that you have and use today. When you use GPS in your car, you all have GPS on your phones, right? And you've seen in your cars, you know, it tells you how to go from here to there, and it's a screen. There was nothing like that. Nothing like that. You drive a car and you opened up a big unfolded map, and you look at a map, and or somebody gives you directions and says, turn left at the next stoplight, turn right. Well, then GPS came along, and I was actually one of the inventors of that, of a key piece of it. The other thing is you'll see like these dishes on the top of your house for your DirecTV or direct broadcast satellite. That used to be a big, huge dish in your backyard, and hardly anybody had them. And when I say huge, these were like the height of a basketball rim on a big dish in your backyard. And if you didn't have that, then you had an antenna up on the top of your roof that was this strange thing that only could get a few, like 2 TV channels or 3. Seriously, think of how many channels you have today. You can only have 3. So this big dish in your backyard could get you dozens. Well, what they wanted to do was get it out to the masses. So I figured out a way to make it really small that you could put on the roof. And then the other thing is internet. You all use internet. Before you were born, internet didn't exist. And there was something called broadband internet. And so you could get internet in some ways, but homes had a tough time getting internet. But those that had Comcast or Xfinity with cable TV, it was originally set up not to be 2 directions. It would just give you all these television programming. I figured out a way to send the signal back the other way and have a lot of bandwidth. So that was something. And then GPS, I'm going to show you a little bit something on GPS. GPS, we talked about it earlier. And then finally, I'll show you something on Wi-Fi. You all have Wi-Fi, right? You've seen the symbol. You have Wi-Fi on your phone, on your computer. You're using it right now. I'm happy to say I built the world's first integrated Wi-Fi chip. And so that's all great and everything, but I'm going to show you how quickly that moves along, and you just got to keep inventing. So let's talk about that chip. In 1992, again, before you were all born, that's me standing next to my truck. And a lot of times the inventor gets all the recognition. So I got my picture. I got profiled as one of the top inventors in the world on Electronic Engineering Times 20th anniversary issue, because I built the world's first 2-way Wi-Fi chip. But that's not really accurate, because although I was the chip designer, it took so much more of a team. So that you're all working as a team. And I just want to say, don't ever think that you're ever going to be alone. You're only as good as your team. If you don't have good team members, then you just can't do it alone. But if you're the inventor, you're going to get all the attention. So what elements does it take? You got to be curious. I think some of you might be curious in what you did, and some might not be. But if you felt like you were curious about how to get a grip glove, or how, the Spring 3D team, or, all of the things that, Team Ezra, everything that you were doing, if you were really interested in it and doing a good job on it, then that's the start of inventing. Resilience means you're going to run into problems. Just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. You're always going to run into problems. I remember hearing, on one of the products that you're looking for, something that could power the device, when the sun's, blocked by the clouds. Ambition, you got to want to succeed. If you don't want to succeed, you're not going to. So if you put these 3 together, you then add team to it. That's your combination right there. So now what I'm going to do is talk about, I'm old enough that I could or should retire, but I can't. I'm an inventor. So rather than retire, I started a company that's doing something good for you, something really good for you in your future. And that is that I'm going to help society and communities that typically have issues with the police departments. I'm going to help police and society work together better. Concealed weapon searches are one of the most dangerous policing tactics there is. You've seen it on TV. Somebody's up against a wall and the police officer's patting them up and down the legs. Well, that's really dangerous for the police officer, and it's really disrespectful for the suspect or the person that's being patted down. They may just be at the wrong place at the wrong time, but yet somebody's handling them and putting their hands all over them. And or maybe a man patting down a woman or vice versa, and it's just not, it's not respectful. Or it may be within arm's length, really dangerous. The police officer may be down patting the ankle and the person is a bad person, and they turn and they really hurt the police officer. This happens billions of times a year. So what I and my team have done is when you go through the airport and you see people holding their hands up and that thing swings around in front of you and then you step out, it's not a metal detector, it's called synthetic aperture radar. And it bouncing radio waves off you and looking through your clothes to see if you have a weapon. So that when you get on the airplane, it's safe for all the passengers. Well, we've been able to reduce that entire 2,000-pound machine, that $250,000 machine, to a single microchip. Remember, I'm a semiconductor theory guy. Semiconductor is microchips. And then we're putting it into a handheld device and giving it to the police department, selling it to the police department so that they can keep a distance from the person they would normally be physically patting down. They can keep a distance so that there's trust and safety between the two. It's a safer distance, it's not disrespectful, and it's safe and harmless. And it allows the officer to do their job without actually going and putting their hands all over the person. So here, I'm going to show you a 1-minute video that shows you how it's all put together. I think you'll like it.
Concealed weapon searches are some of the most contentious and dangerous practices in law enforcement and security today. Not only is this procedure controversial, but it requires law enforcement to be within arm's reach of an individual before they detect any weapons, making it very high risk. Lassen Peak's mission is to address this challenge with imaging radar technology and enable safe and respectful weapon detection in the field. With Lassen Peak, officers can scan an individual at a safe distance of up to 10 feet. This keeps situations calm and requires no physical contact with individuals, resulting in a less invasive encounter that fosters trust and safety. Lassen Peak will detect weapons and other unknown objects, which will be clearly displayed on a small form factor handheld device. The solution is similar to scanners found in many airports that identify weapons and contraband on travelers. Lassen Peak is using innovative new technology to reduce this entire system down to a single microchip that can be mobilized into many different devices for use in the field, including drones, body-worn video, dome cameras, and more, bringing the benefits of advanced weapon detection to new and currently unserved markets. This breakthrough in imaging radar improves officer safety, de-escalates situations where there are no weapons, and reduces use of force incidents, which can create a more dignified, safer, and equitable experience for all. Lassen Peak, building trust and improving relationships between police and the community, all while improving safety and ultimately saving lives.
So here's some of the areas that it's really important. I talked about gender. Gender means sexual orientation. And as we know, there's many different sexual orientations today. And there's a different level of concern about improper touching of somebody and invasive pat down. The pat down that a police officer is supposed to do is to reach up and down the legs all the way, everywhere. It's touch the person all over. It's really bad. Mental health. A number of you did, projects on autism. Did you know that autistic people are very hypersensitive to touch? In fact, my nephew is a big autistic young man. He's 6'5", 400 pounds, and he looks really dangerous, but he's not. And if a police officer went up to him and said, I'm going to pat you down now, he'd pull away. He's hypersensitive. That officer would be scared because of how big he is. And that officer would feel that that was a threat, and the altercation would start, and there would be bad things happening just because he didn't know that my nephew was on the spectrum and had a mental health issue. So it turns out that 1 in 4 deaths, fatalities, when the police are engaged, involve somebody with a mental health issue. 1 in 4. And it's a big problem. Race, well, we all know that there's issues with different racial backgrounds and police departments, legacy issues that go back decades, hundreds of years. And so there's a distrust, rightly so, that there are elements between certain communities in society when engaged with police departments that just won't go away fast. They're going to be here a long time. So the more we can bring something in that helps create a safe buffer between that distrust, the better. We want to rebuild trust and safety. And when you build your products, when you invent your products, you have to think about what it's going to do to all elements of not just the people that buy it, but the people that are around it or have anything involved with it. Religion, same thing. There's misunderstanding. Certain religions wear something on their head that cannot come off. But yet, how does the policeman feel inside there to see if there's a weapon? So on and so forth. So this helps procedural improvements with the police. It de-escalates this need to have a physical fight. It also has accountability. The police officer can't randomly scan. So we're protecting the civil rights of the person being scanned. We're making it so that there's no abuse. You can't see through the clothes. The officer can't see skin. It doesn't show skin. And the way that we got to these sort of rules and features in the product is we did what some of you did. When you reach out to your community member, I remember there was somebody, one of the groups had mentioned Dave, an advisor, and that was Sprink 3D. You know, you had Dave, and then you also said you talked to the San Francisco long-term water planner. That's what you need to do. So I'm not a police officer, but I was going to build a product for police. So I went out and I built an advisory committee that included like Dr. Cedric Alexander. You'll see him on MSNBC and CNN, or you'll see him on TV. He is the chief law enforcement analyst for MSNBC. He was President Obama's lead on 21st Century Policing Task Force. Right now, he's the commissioner of Minneapolis Police and Fire. He's going in and rebuilding and cleaning up sort of the issues that surrounded the George Floyd, what we all lived through. You are all old enough, you lived through that, George Floyd and his death. So Cedric Alexander is right there right now. He also was the president of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. So representing 3,000 out of our 18,000 chiefs are African American. And so we also have, for example, Sonia Quinones, who's the president of the National Association of Women Law Enforcement Executives. But I also didn't just want to talk to cops. I went out to somebody who has opposed police departments and is a advocate of use of force issues and racial issues and sexual discrimination issues. He's the top lawyer for the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, the top legal cop for civil rights. I wanted to find out if I could find somebody who opposed what we were doing. And he not only said, I'm not opposed, can I please be on your advisory committee? And then one more I'll mention, or two more, Anthony Fennell. He's on the National Association of Civilian Oversight. So most major cities have a police department that's regulated by its command staff, its chief, its deputy chief. But then a lot of times there's an organization of this group called NACOL that is created out of community members to make sure they are sort of the community watchdog. So I brought him on. He's on the board of that organization, but he's also a 25-year former policeman. So he understands both sides. And then finally, data privacy. So on my product, I have to worry about data. These scans, they have to be put in the cloud properly. So I went out and got the top person on data privacy in America. He's the Chief Information Officer of the United States government. He was formerly the CIO of Microsoft, one of the biggest companies in the world. This is the expert. So all of these people add up to being the expert. Some of you down in Southern California at El Cajon, you're in San Diego, but just up the road in Los Angeles, LAPD's top cop, Mike Downing, commanding officer. So I took a subset of that group and I said, I want to meet weekly and talk about social justice and make sure that our product really protects civil rights and serves the African American community, the Hispanic, Latino, Latina community. I want the Asian community. I want all groups of people in religion. I want Christians, Muslims. I want everybody protected. So we talked about all those issues. This is what you have to do with your product. Not only do you have to build a product, when you invent, you have to go out and understand everybody who's involved, every perspective. Karen Street is the former executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus. She is tied in with representatives from all of the African American communities across all of the US House of Representatives that actually create the appropriations and budgets for police departments. So, you know, you see how it all ties together. I want opinions that matter. I won't go through this, but these are the experts and they just talk about the product of how it will change the world. And I'll just, you know, let me just move on. But the strategy that you have to take is, again, what I took is I went out and talked to all these organizations and people, but then I also went to the police departments, to all the organizations about police, like the International Association of Chiefs of Police, the Major County Sheriff's Association, the Major Cities Chiefs. I'm a member of all of them now. I'm a member of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, and I have a Scottish background. I don't care. We're all one people. So I'm going to be in every organization. And so that matters when you want to, if you want to feel what your product will do for somebody, you really got to get expertise. Your products that were addressing rheumatoid arthritis, you were doing the right thing. Talk to people that have it. Those that are addressing autism, talk to those that have it. Talk to those that are raising autistic children. Okay, so what's the result? The result is that in the domestic focus that I had was I can't go to 18,000 police departments. So I picked those that have 1,000 officers or more. So this is another message for you. When you're building your product and you're looking at, okay, how do you help somebody who has a bad back and get up straight? Well, understand the size of the market. When you're going to sell to those people, I heard there was internet sales and maybe go to the doctors. Well, that whole channel, those channels of getting your product in the market, really important, understanding how to do that. So I focused police departments on those that I could handle, but those were the biggest. And it turns out that's only 150 that I have to call on instead of 18,000, but they represent 1/3 of all of them. So the biggest, if I get those, the other 17,850 kind of don't matter for a while. And then internationally, I wanted to go after the knife crimes that are going on in the world. You know, we have guns in America and we think that we have a big problem when we do. But other countries that don't have guns, they have horrible knife problems. And I won't go into it, but these are as horrible as ours are guns. It's not the weapon. It's just the bad person who's using the weapon. And it's going to be a different weapon depending on what country you go to. So we went to the UK and England and Wales. They manage those police departments separately from Scotland, even though Scotland's part of the UK, it's confusing. And then Ireland has its own police department called An Garda. And in 1 year, we introduced to roughly 1/2 of America's 1K forces. All of these towns you're familiar with, you can look at them yourselves. We secured pilot commitments with 1/2 of them. That's a huge, huge order of business. So when you're looking at selling your product, leverage the channel properly. And if you have a great product, you can get the reward easier. We also introduced to all 43 UK police departments. This is me giving a talk at the Police Scotland headquarters in Glasgow, Scotland. This is wandering around. This is Northumbria in Northern England. And so we secured pilots. This now totals a 7-year software as a service model of almost $5 billion. 1 year. So when you build your channels right, when you go talk to the communities that care and matter, you can bring that all together with your technology and really have that ambition kind of play out for you. We have patents that protect everything. That's one of the things you want to do. And we have an evolution of patents that protect all the future applications. We ultimately will put this inside of your schools to protect you from all the things you see on TV that are bad. And so we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to have on drones in cases where there may be a crazy person out in the middle of a park and no police officer wants to approach that person until they know what that person has concealed. So that's it. Final chart is you wrap curiosity together with ambition and resilience. You put a good team around it, and you can, in a very short amount of time, create a very large market for yourself. That's my presentation. Any questions you might have for me? Okay, then. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Hatch. And I think that's a really good view on how we can do pitches if any of the students continue, and also the teachers, you guys continue with Project Invent, and later on anything that you guys make. So it was a wonderful talk and an opportunity to learn and challenge ourselves. With that, I'd actually like to turn it over to our student teams to share about your journey with Project Invent this year. So we'll spend about 10 or so minutes learning about our student experiences. There are 2 questions we would like you guys to answer. One is, what was a significant challenge that you experienced while designing your product? The second is, what helped you remain resilient, or what motivated you when you experienced challenges? This is meant to be a brief and an informal reflection. Each team will have a minute to answer these 2 questions. And let me go ahead and put the questions in the chat as well. So students can look back at those 2 that you'll be answering. So I'll start off with Team Tech 8 again. What was a significant challenge that you experienced while designing your product, and what helped you remain resilient or motivated when you experienced those challenges?
So something that helped us remain resilient and what motivated us when we experienced challenges was our sponsor, Ms. Simmons. She made sure that we kept going when we wanted to give up, and she was able to help us keep going. And she also helped us find a community partner, and just helped us keep going.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. And then let's hear from, I think, Watergation. Okay, sorry. So again, the questions are, what was a significant challenge that you experienced while designing your product, and what helped you remain resilient or motivated when you experienced your challenge?
Working together and communicating. And the other one is working together, helping each other.
So you're overcoming that by helping.
Yeah. We
Awesome.
overcame by helping each other.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And then I see, let's go with Team Ezra.
A significant challenge that we faced was at the end, we kind of ran out of time to, like as I said earlier, we have a prototype and then we have our code with all our lights. And so a challenge we faced was that we wanted to make a prototype with all of that combined, but we ran out of time. So we had to figure out how to have 2 things going on.
Yeah, we didn't really have
enough time to finish more in-depth prototype. We mostly ended up with sort of like a really raw, simple prototype.
All right, thank you though, but you made it here. That's great. And then I have Spring 3D. If you guys, yes.
Hi, so I will answer those questions. Since my student had to like pop up really quick right now, so we're having others activities. So one of the challenges that they had, it was they need a little bit extra time to present and develop a little bit more of the prototype so they can test it. That's one of the things, the budgeting definitely, they shared one of the things that it was the budgeting. And as you probably listened to them, one of the challenges that they had at the beginning especially was to learn how to communicate and get along. However, it was my pleasure to see that magic among my team. We have very beautiful, great thinkers and strong personalities that when there were those clashes and see how they solve their problems and how they were able to transfer their ideas and get into consensus on how to develop.
Awesome, thank you so much. And then I see that we'll do the droplets and grip glove, you guys.
Go ahead.
I'm from the droplets, and a challenge that we experienced was like communication in our group, because it was like hard to talk to one another. And something that motivated us was that we knew that we were helping someone in need.
Okay, hi, I'm from the grip glove, and we had many problems, but I think the three biggest ones were the technology limit, our budget, and then also the communication on all the ideas. What helped us stay resilient and be able to work was the fact that we were doing it just for people who are currently suffering and not being able to do day-to-day tasks. Super difficult. It's like it'd be very hard for people to do day-to-day tasks.
Thank you all for sharing. I'm gonna go, I see Biodome, you guys are there. So our questions are, what was a significant challenge that you experienced while designing your product, and what helped you remain resilient, or what motivated you when you experienced those challenges?
What really motivated us was probably our grade, most of all, because we really want to pass, we want to have a good future ahead. And also, we just really want to have a really good time.
Thank you guys so much. And then we have backpacks.
For number one, we thought that what a hard thing is the time that we had, because we only had 1 day a week to do it. And so we had to make time to like outside of what our meeting time to be able to meet.
Oh, I'm not sure. There's one more. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you all. And then let me see any more. All right. And then I see someone here. Okay. All right. Thank you all for all of your experience, making it here as well. And so we're going to be getting our judges here back, because we're going to be getting our awards soon. So let me go ahead and see, let's take a few minutes to get our judges back into the webinar. Go ahead here.
Great, and our judges are joining us again momentarily. So I will hand it off to all of you. And if you could just give me just a few moments to double check the award list and our slide deck, that would be awesome. But back to you, Angela.
Yes. All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have our judges soon back, and they've made their decisions. So it's going to be time for awards. And so we'll hear a little bit about our 4 awards. Okay. And in this slide, the presentation that you're seeing, this also kind of goes over what the judges are basing, how they're deciding the awards based upon our student mindsets. But the awards that we are given, that we're going to be giving, can kind of go over them. We have the Need Finder Award, and this is given to a team that really listened to their community partner. And then we also have the Product Pivot Award, and this is presented to a team that had to overcome many obstacles. We have the Moonshot Award, which is given to a team that identified and created a notable creative product. And we also have the Explorer Award, which is presented to a team that demonstrated a great amount of learning. And before we start our awards, just a quick word to all of our student teams here. What you have done today and in many months of hard work and innovation leading up to today is incredible. You've built something that few people ever will, and you've built something designed to help real people in the real world. And you've done it as just middle school students, and that's unreal. So you've learned the skills to become the fearless problem solvers of tomorrow. So if you receive an award today, that's obviously very exciting. But if you don't receive an award today, it is so far from the end of the journey, especially you guys are just starting this journey and it's never ending. And with that in mind, let me go ahead and check. We have our panelists back. And so the panelists, I'm going to be turning it over to you to present our 4 awards. And when you present, please share the type of award and its description as well as the awarded team's name.
Okay. Am I going first?
Go for it.
All right. So I want to just congratulate everyone for their participation and for them being bold enough to go after building something and presenting it. But our first award that we decided to award is the Need Finder Award, and we are gonna give that to Team Backpack. And we feel that Team Backpack demonstrated a considerable amount of creativity to solve the user's pain point by empathizing with the user's problem. And so we thought it was appropriate to give Backpack the Need Finder Award. So you will really listen to your user and was creative with your approach based off of the user's need. And then secondly, my second award that I'm going to present is the Product Pivot Award. And we are giving that to Team Heat, Tech 8, I believe. So the young ladies of Team Heat, and we believe that, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, but we believe that from the start, Team Heat immediately pivoted from one type of wearable, namely the necklace, to what they believe would be a more feasible product, the wristwatch, and it really required them to take agency over the project by demonstrating that they had the inclination to know to pivot. And so overall, their presentation was engaging and it was easy to understand by way of the multitude of demonstrations of their prototype. So felt it befitting to provide Team Heat the Product Pivot Award for their resilience, for their agency, and ability to pivot.
Great. So I'm going to present the Explorer Award, and the award for Explorer Award goes to Droplet. I was really impressed by their forthrightness about what challenges they faced. And I appreciated how they were open about accepting that they had difficulty communicating with each other because they hadn't worked with each other before. And I overall thought, despite those difficulties and communications, they were able to come together and deliver the project that really addressed their customer needs. So congratulations. And the Moonshot Award goes to NannyCube. I thought it was a very unique, it was a very unique problem to solve. And it was a challenging problem. They came up with a pretty interesting simplified solution for it. And I think you guys did a really good job presenting, and were very thorough about sort of answering the pain points, looking at the commercial feasibility of the product itself. So congratulations to you as well.
You're on mute.
Thank you. Okay. All right. That concludes our demo day. Congratulations to our teams, all of our teams, and our awarded team members, Backpat, Tech 8 Heat, Droplets, and Ezra for the NannyCube. And I'd like to thank all of the teams again, all of our amazing teams today, and a huge thank you to all of our panelists and keynote speakers, our audience and donors, and to everyone who helped these teams along the journey, from teachers to mentors to family members. You can continue to donate to Project Invent to enable us to continue this mission of empowering young people to innovate all year round. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.